In the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition monster manual, there is one page that reliably gets swiftly glossed over, as if it's a flyover state. The Couatl. The intent with this bite-sized version of the Aztec myth is to provide a cool, low-level shape-shifting quest-giver with scrying and healing powers to nudge the party in the right direction. Later, it would reveal its true form, so the party could all be like, "Ooh, it was a big flying snake all along, that's cool." Problem is, it's the only Aztec-themed creature in any of the official books, unless you count the Yuan-Ti. Plus, any dungeon master who wants to do the old quest-giver was a cool magical monster trick wants to reveal it to be something big and cool like a sphinx or a dragon, not a medium-sized flying snake. But I want you to have a gander at its CR range. It is challenge rating 4. According to the book, a party of 4 level 4 players should easily be able to dispatch a CR4 creature without struggling too much. I, for one, disagree. In fact, I'd say if a Couatl wants you dead and it has no specific time limit within which to do so, it will inevitably win, perhaps even against a group of level 20 players. The reason for this is that the stat block for this thing is accidentally the most overpowered schema villain moveset imaginable. According to the lore dump, it doesn't need to eat, sleep, or drink. It has a very long lifespan and it does not tire of its duties. It has a fly speed of 90 foot, so few things can catch up to it. It is immune to scrying, so you cannot track it. It has true sight, so you cannot use illusions to trick or trap it. It can polymorph into any humanoid or beast of CR4 or below, which not only allows it to disguise itself, as most animals or NPCs, but it also gains any non-class-based abilities of its new form. Here's a fun list I compiled of creatures that fit the bill and the neat abilities of those creatures. Some highlights include Sorkin Priestess for Shark Telepathy, Zvat Warlord of Raxenvort for Rat Telepathy, Skulk for Invisibility, and Mazel for a 500-foot teleport between shadows. Of course, the Couatl stat block itself is already pretty great. It has no attribute lower than 16. It has a resting armor class of 19 and 3 uses of shield per day, to bump that up to a totally reasonable armor class of 24. It is immune to non-magical weapons, so I hope your level 4 party already has a suite of magical doodads. Immunity to Psychic and resistance to Radiant, meaning your Bard and Cleric can do very little to stop it. Good thing it also has massive saving throws, almost 100 HP, and the ability to heal itself of both damage and ailments. Its damage output doesn't look that good until you realize it can constrict somebody as an action, then use its movement to drag the target vertically, up to 45 feet. At this point, if they can free themselves, they'll only take 3d6 falling damage. However, if they fail to break free immediately, next turn the Couatl can use its action and movement to drag them 90 more feet vertically. At this point, the falling damage is 12d6. Any level 4 character which isn't a barbarian is going to get splatted. But my overall point is actually this: why engage in direct combat at all? Firstly, it can just spam Dream once per day on a single target, until they fail enough times to die of sleep deprivation. If they find a means of counteracting this, the Couatl could simply pretend to be a quest-giver NPC, to send them somewhere dangerous, preferably atop a cliff or mountain to fling them off of it with its tail. It could manipulate goblin tribes or raiders to attack the players. After all, the Couatl is immune to non-magic weapons, so negotiations with such primitives are of little threat. It has 3 uses of create food and water per day, which is both useful as a negotiation tool and as animal training. It knows all languages with telepathy out to 120 feet, so it doesn't even need to reveal itself to people. It could just take the form of a crow or mouse and promise things from a safe distance. Basically, if the Couatl wants to ruin your life or kill you, that will be accomplished in time. If you want to stop it, you must first find out where it is, which is impossible due to its scry immunity and shapeshifting. At best, maybe you can use a wish spell to wish it dead or teleport it to your location, but barring that, you'll never find it, and its schemes will always haunt you like a curse. The good news for players is that it's a good aligned creature. whose sole purpose is to protect something, for example, magic treasure or a certain bloodline. It is good that the book discourages us from inflicting the horror of a Couatl on good-aligned parties. However, the Couatl is a magnificent threat to levy against evil murder-hobo players. Is your party pissing you off? Well, I suggest leaving an obvious pile of magical treasure in their path with a warning preceding it about divine retribution to the unlawful plunderer. When they inevitably steal the goodies, have the Couatl hound them and torment them until the goods are returned, either by the players or by the Couatl taking them back. That's basically all I had to say about Couatls, actually. Bye-bye now.